Hi, this is Jack from Alpha Charts with the state of the market video. Today is August 14th, 2021. Before we get started, this video is for educational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security. I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. I'll start with the SPX closing at all-time highs. Again, nothing bearish about that. You see the nice trend is just screaming higher, right? So again, is it getting maybe a little extended? Maybe it needs to kind of come back and check into this moving average early next week, just to keep it so it doesn't get too far extended. You can see it did it here, came back. That was a big retest. Came back here, checked back into it, and now it's kind of getting a little extended again. So maybe just needs to check back in, but the bull is still on right there. Now let's look into the surface at the equal weight, because I like to see how that's doing. And for a while we were watching this because it really wasn't confirming, but now it is, right? So I think we're seeing broad participation, which I think is also very, very healthy. And you can see the last 2 days, even on the pullbacks, they're on lower volume. So participation is good. Looking at the Qs, so this 368 level continues to be an area that price is just chopping around. It's been doing that since July 23rd, so about 3 weeks now. But that's really bullish, right? Because it's just soaking up supply. It's just, figuring things out, letting moving averages catch up. Really doing nothing wrong at this point. It's in a power trend higher. Things are looking really good. I would like to see, 368, 369, this area right there, call it 370. I would love to see 370 get broken. Of course, it'll need, the help of, Apple, which, looks amazing set up. Apple, Amazon after earnings has been terrible. So again, it has to kind of rectify some of these mega caps to make it to move higher. But Google is looking good. That's going to help it. So anyway, the equal weight Qs, also just kind of checking back into moving averages. I don't think there's anything bearish at all about this. This is literally, what it does, right? It gets extended, it checks back. 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 And the trend stays higher, up and to the right. So equal weight Qs are looking fine. IWM. So, it's still in a range. The moving averages bunched up. Price, on Friday closed below them, but it's just been just a big fat chopping mess since February or so. And it's still in this range. And when you really look at it, I mean, it went from 150-ish to 230, right? So, there's a 50% increase, and now it has to consolidate all those gains. So it's not doing anything wrong. It's not screaming higher. Now, the very uber bullish scenario is obviously a breakout above 234, right? Breakout above 234, that's really bullish. If price breaks below 208-ish, that's the bearish scenario. As of right now, though, this sideways marking time for me is the bull, more likely to be the bull scenario. Prior trend is higher, and chances are this is likely to break out. We won't know until after the fact, of course, but I'm gonna, if I have to guess, I'm gonna err on the bull side, right? And really, when you really look at it, I mean, eventually it's always broken higher, right? There's been pullbacks along the way, but I mean, look at a monthly chart. This chicken up and then just flagging out here, right? I mean, this is from April 20. I mean, that's a beautiful flag, right? So good chances this move breaks higher. That's a monthly chart. I know we're only 14 days into the month, but just some context, right? So again, just a gigantic flag on the higher time frames is all that's being created. Looking at IWO, it looks just like the IWM, right? This is the growth, the small cap growth. They look the same. And so it is the same. It's just marking time, not doing anything wrong, not doing anything right. I think the higher likelihood is a breakout. But as of right now, again, just marking time. XLF, you know, so it broke out this big area and then moves higher, kind of chopped around this range, trying to break out again. We'll see if this sticks or not. It's a little bit extended. Wouldn't be surprised if this falls back into this range and needs to consolidate a little bit more. But all in all, financials are participating and even near all-time highs. So they're part of the leadership group, and I think that's a positive for the market as an indicator. That's good to see financials participating. Semiconductors. So semiconductors last week was really bullish, right? It kind of came back, it broke out, it was looking great. Since then, it's come back and is retesting this breakout area, not doing anything wrong. This is what happens, right? So our line in the sand, 255-ish. As long as it's above 255-ish, semiconductors are doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're still trending higher on the longer time frames, and everything's okay. A break back below 255, and that could mean that there may be some trouble in the market. But we're not there right now. Right now, it's still just a natural retest. And my expectation would be that this retest holds. And the reason is because the prior trend is higher, right? It's up, sideways, up. Now, if that changes and the information changes and it falls back into this area, then obviously I'm going to change my stance on that. But as of right now, my expectation would be that this is going to hold and semis should bounce. But I will be watching this 254, 255 area this week just to confirm that. Looking at lumber, lumber came back. This was the area that was important. It held that area like a champ and looks like it wants to start to move higher again. Lumber moving higher. I think that's that bodes well for the market looking out 3 to 6 months. So going into the second half of the year, end of the year, I think that if this continues to move higher, I think that that the market will probably be moving higher with it. Yeah, I like lumber as an indicator. Let's look at some bonds. So bonds is something that I was really kind of a little more concerned about. I hate this volume on bonds, so let's just get rid of that. Beautiful. All right. And actually, let's just get rid of these moving averages too. Clean your chart. All right. So here we go. Boom. Here's bonds. And so this was the spike from Corona. And now we have this Delta variant, and we have all these other lockdowns and masks and this and that, and who knows what's coming up. But what's the bond market telling us? They're not concerned, right? So back here, this was interesting. This was potentially trouble, right? We were watching this very closely. Oh, this was interesting. But since then, it's starting to really settle down. And that's okay. Obviously our levels are still there and it hasn't really broken below this, 149-ish area yet, but it's not broken above 150, 1.51 either. Again, so as this is government bonds come to high yield bonds, and we want to see this kind of tightening up and again, trending down, or at the very least sideways movement is fine right where it's at. I mean, that's what it's been. It's been this, this range for a while. Could almost, you could almost do something like that, right? So I think as long as it's below that box, everything's fine. Again, let it chop around. Who cares? And again, so the bond market's telling me that there's nothing to be concerned about as of today in the markets. If we start seeing spikes like this, that's a different story. Could this and this, they look kind of similar. Maybe. Maybe we get something like this and then a big spike up. Well, then obviously we'll change our tune. But as of right now, I don't think there's anything to necessarily be worried about with bonds. The VIX, 15.46. That's a trending market. It's a lower volatility market. Nothing wrong with that. The VIXIN, which is the NASDAQ volatility index, again, going out on lows, multi-year lows, or actually 1-year lows. But that looks really good. Again, trending market. Put call ratio. So it's it shows that there's people indecision, people don't know what to do. There's bearish people, there's bullish people, 1 foot out the door type people. So there's no signal here except that there's uncertainty in the market. And I guess that may be the signal, right? The wall of worry. This is what this is gonna represent for me. And markets like to climb a wall of worry. I think that's what we're seeing here. Again, no extreme signal, which is, I think, a good thing. But with that being said, a wall of worry, I think market climbs this and moves higher. Breadth, looking at breadth, MMFI, percent of stocks above the 50-day moving average. It's just making up its gains, trending higher, 44.16%. So it's not like amazing, spectacular, but it's making progress. And I like it above 50% personally. And we're almost there. We'll see if it continues that next week. But again, progress is progress. Value line geometric index. Again, making some progress, kind of broke this downtrend line that was here. Retesting it now. We'll see what happens. But as of right now, just kind of, again, constructive over the last couple of weeks. So we'll see if that continues. Again, this is a breadth indicator. Looking at gold, if people were really, really worried, I think gold would be, at the forefront and people would be buying gold. And, again, maybe this is some bigger pattern that is playing out. And it could take another 6 months or a year to play out. We don't know, question mark. But as of right now, we're not seeing people piling into gold as a safe haven. And I think, again, that bodes well for the market. They'd rather be in riskier assets. Okay. And looking at riskier assets, there's my Bitcoin right there. Looking at Bitcoin on the daily, here was where it was supposed to break down back in July. It didn't. And the nice thing about that is that it screamed higher. I mean, it went from 29 to 46 in just a few weeks. And I think that's awesome. And that tells you that it's more of a risk on environment. If cryptocurrency like Bitcoin is doing good, I think Ethereum also doing amazing. So again, if you're seeing cryptos doing well, I think that's a risk on indicator for the market. All right. All in all, everything still looks very bullish. I don't see any signs of major problems in this market. Is there rotation? Is there choppiness? Of course. It's not easy. Is there a wall of worry? Of course. Who knows what's going on with, all the different, variants and everything else going on with this. But all in all, the market isn't concerned, at least not today, in my opinion. All right. Hope this helped. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe. I really do appreciate that. Also, tomorrow I'll be doing my stocks to watch video. I'll be trying to just pick out the best of the best again. So I'll probably try to keep it on the shorter side, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, something like that, and pick out my favorite ideas going into the week. So check that out tomorrow morning. If you're on Twitter, find me at AlphaCharts365. If you can't retweet, subscribe, whatever, it does help me out. Thank you very much. And you'll have a great day.